Suicide is now a global health epidemic. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 100 deaths are by suicide. From a report from the CDC, nearly 46,000 Americans died by suicide in 2020. The suicide rate among men is also 4 times higher than it is among women. The issue of suicide is often considered a taboo topic and not discussed openly, potentially worsening the effects of stigmatization. That's why Viking Fusion decided to start the conversation by seeing how suicide is viewed by a few members of Barry's campus. Among the people interviewed is Michael Johnson, a junior sports communication major and creative technology minor.
Suicide Awareness Month to me is a big deal for someone who's a big advocate of mental health and has struggled with it themselves. I know that putting a word out there, just lending a friendly advice, even just not this month, but throughout the whole year, is a big deal for a lot of people.
Johnson said it's beneficial to post about awareness online, but more important to have discussions and connect with people in person.
I think for me, social media is just a huge, everybody's on TikTok, everybody's on Twitter, everybody's on Instagram, Reddit, all those forms of social media. So I think it's good to put stuff out like that as well, but I think there also has to be that kind of carryover to where people care about their mental health and are asking those honest questions with you in person. Hey, how's your mental health doing? Hey, how are you doing? How's your week? Kind of having those intentional conversations with people.
Johnson said if one of his friends had not checked on him during a difficult time in his life, he wouldn't be here today.
So growing up, I was a big Christian community guy. My parents are Catholic. I grew up Catholic. And I went to Catholic school and I made the transition to public school in middle school. I thought everything was going to be fine. I had all my athletic buddies, I had my theater buddies. It ended up not being okay. I got bullied for an extensive amount of years, all through until I transferred high schools essentially. I've always been a bigger guy. I got bullied for my weight, and it came to the point where it took such a toll on my mental health that I was laying in bed with a knife in my hand, ready to move on from life. Long story short, I ended up getting a phone call from a friend who just said he had the urge to call me, and we talked things over, and I credit him for me being here today.
Johnson added that suicide doesn't have a face, and you never know what the next person may be going through.
I've been where a lot of people have thought, and if you were to just walk up to me on the street, you would never think that I'm someone who struggles with mental health, or I'm someone who's been suicidal and something like that. And I think that's a lot of what people don't realize is that you can go through a facade day to day of just putting on a mask and putting on a smile, going to class and stuff like that, but then you close that door at night and it's a lot different. So I think to have conversations with people and to check in on people, especially during this month and throughout the whole year, is a really big deal.
He said society needs to rethink and readdress how to talk about suicide.
As a community, I think we have to stop putting such a negative connotation on it. I think we can't think that everybody has issues because they're suicidal or because they're having those thoughts. Some people, it happens. You know, we can't be negative towards those people, and we can't have negative feelings towards those people who are having those kind of thoughts. We have to be supportive, we have to be loving, we have to be caring. And I think as a person, you have to have those intentional conversations.
Johnson offered some advice on how to best support others, not just during Suicide Awareness Month, but year-round.
Simple handshake, some knucks can go a long way in someone's life, or even just, hey, how's your day going? How's classes? Checking up on people is a huge thing, because if someone knows that you care, it makes it a lot harder to want to go away.
Next week, in Part 2, we will explore another Barry student's testimony about suicide awareness and prevention. With Viking Fusion, I'm Addison Howard.